out for pre-show today?
Let's see, pre-show.
I've got more funny stories that I can tell from my own life,
All right, let's have one of those.
but only
I
I
had,
guess I only have
and I
one.
had something to talk about too, but I, for the life of me, can't. This is what happens when I don't take notes. This is what happens. So give us a funny story, allegation.
All right. So, amusing anecdote. That's right, Phlogiston. So today, my roommate and I were driving into work as we are known to do on weekdays, and we were discussing the nacho phenomenon and how delicious they are, and that got me hungry for nachos. So we decided to go to Qdoba today for lunch in my
I was gonna
office.
say, is the end of this you getting Qdoba for breakfast?
Not breakfast, although I did think about it. I actually
You
did
did
say, I
say
wonder
on the
when
way to work, I'm like,
Qdoba.
the anecdotal part of this that you got tacos for breakfast?
No, I did wonder to myself when Qdoba would open, though. I figured it wasn't going to be around 8 a.m. So we went at the normal lunch hour to go get nachos. And if you're not familiar with Qdoba, it is it's kind of like a fast food chain that serves burritos and other Mexican food and fare, things like that. So we go in there, and they've got a habanero salsa that they do there. That's really good. But they label it the extra hot. You know, it's the really really hot stuff. And I enjoy it. I get usually like a ladle of that.
Well, you're the one that also, when you eat that stuff, you like start sweating within 5 minutes, right?
Yes, yes, I will start to sweat, like visibly sweat down my face, and so my boss also very much enjoys that, and he usually gets he'll get 2 scoops of this extra hot stuff, and then on top of that he'll ask for more on the side, and then he drizzles it over his burrito that he gets. So he loves this stuff. So I'm in front of him in line. He's behind me. I'm getting these nachos that I'm so excited about. And we're moving forward in the line, and we get to the part where they ask you what salsas you want. And I said, I want that extra hot salsa. And then so the guy who's doing it is like, he has to take out the tub and turns it to ladle some out. And knowing how much my boss usually likes to get, I say to the guy, "You better get some more of that, or my boss is gonna, or he's gonna finish it all up." And all that the clerk heard was "finish it all up." And what ended up happening is he turned upside down the entire container of the extra hot into my nachos, to which my face was like that for a moment, and
Just a second,
but
I'll be right
then
back.
and then I thought to myself, can I do this? There's like easily 5 scoops of extra hot in those nachos at that point. And so I had to think to myself, is this worth trying? And then I realized I'm a man. I'm a man. I can do this. So I paid for my nachos. I sat down and ate them and was sweating profusely and only got about halfway through. But they were delicious. They were quite good and quite fiery. And my tongue may be still a little bit scalded, scaled, something like that. So yeah, that's my story about the extra hot salsa in my nachos. And undoubtedly, I'm going to be feeling those again at some point. Hopefully not this evening. That would be awkward. But yeah, good stuff. Qdoba was a good establishment. Enjoyable. Way to not
I
hear
offer
the
a
end of my
counterpoint to
story.
that.
Say what?
I offer counterpoint to that.
You offer counterpoint?
I offer a counterpoint to your Qdoba is the best place in the world.
I didn't say. Did I say it's the best place in the world?
I don't know.
I don't think I did.
I'm not a
I
huge
do
fan
like
of
Qdoba
Qdoba.
a lot, but
And I'll tell you why. Why? Because it's 3/4 rice.
unless you ask for no rice, then
Well,
it's
but then it's like
no rice.
that big, right?
I don't know. I've never gotten it without rice.
I don't know, I just want more meat and stuff rather than just a burrito of rice and some other stuff.
Kind of depends where you go too, and what kind of meat you get. If you get if you get their like shredded pork, they'll like just ladle it, and it's like it's easily like a quarter to a half pound of meat right there. It's a
So that
lot.
I can do that. My wife
That-
loves Qdoba, so every time we want to eat out, she's like, "Oh, let's get Qdoba." I'm like, "Oh."
Well, try that shredded pork, or shredded pork, shredded beef, something like that. Anyway, try
this
that.
is going to be disgusting compared to your deliciousness of Qdoba. But my
What's that?
favorite is a Nacho Bel Grande with extra nacho cheese and extra sour cream, so it's like literally dripping.
And the funny thing is you'll sit down with Aaron to do that, and he'll come with this thing that's pretty much all goo and very little substance, and he'll sit down at the table. And Aaron's a kind of a klutz, if you guys weren't aware of that. So he will sit down at the table and he'll put his hands down and flip the whole thing onto his person. It has happened more than once.
That. That.
And then you have to go up and buy another one.
That's the best one ever. This is the record-setting Nacho Belgrande for me.
Wow.
That's
That
like
is
5 pounds of sour cream. But the funny thing is, the day before I went, and I got like a tiny little dollop on top. I'm like, seriously? I paid 60 cents, and you didn't give me even the normal amount.
Well,
Silly Taco
that's
Bell.
what's going to happen, I suppose.
Yep. So what else is going on?
What else is going on? I have a very busy weekend ahead, as I am sure that you do as well, as
Yeah.
we're going to be getting together, joining up instead of broadcasting from remote locations. We're going to hang out for once and sit
Okay.
at the same table and try not to kill each other as we do an all-day live cast of the semifinals and the finals for this league this Sunday.
It's going to be awesome.
It is
I've
gonna
been
be
spending literally all week preparing for this. We've got video
Yeah.
feature extras. We've got lots of cool discussion points. We're the pre-show is going to be pretty good. It's going to be
Yeah,
good.
it's going to be like just a recap of the entirety of the season. If you'd missed anything and wanted to hear kind of what's going on, and mostly focusing on the teams that made it into the semifinals to try and see kind of where they came from, how they built their way into where they're at now, and then we'll talk about our predictions and all that good stuff. So definitely worth the extra half an hour before the games actually start to hear
Yeah,
that.
it'll be
if
a
you
half
wanna-
hour too.
Yeah.
Half-hour pre-show, not a 10-minute pre-show.
Nope, not just gonna. And,
Maybe we'll work in a entertaining anecdote, but mostly serious stuff.
Yeah, and I think we're also going to be doing a live unboxing of a DOS keyboard. So
What?
if you
Who's-
guys had not,
Whose would that be?
that I have acquired myself a DOS keyboard and
Alright.
holding myself away. I've got it under lock and
That's got to
key
be
so
really
that I
hard,
cannot
right? It's got to be
prevent-
really hard.
I'm trying to
not-
prevent myself from like going all werewolf on it and just tearing it apart and plugging it in and go click 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 click. But I'm holding back so that we will be able to do a live unboxing, so you get to see everything right
Yeah.
when you buy a DOS keyboard, what it looks like, how it happens, and
Rats.
how the magic enfolds your life. So that will be one of the things that we'll be doing first in the pre-show, and we also have some pretty cool analysis of a player who played pretty well over the course of the series that definitely stuck out to us.
Didn't make it
as
to the
one of-
playoffs, but just only by the skin of his teeth, right?
No, they made the playoffs. They
Oh, I
just
mean,
didn't make it into
the
semis.
semifinals.
That's right.
Correct.
Yep. But definitely a cool play style and one that stood out more than most to our eyes and ears and palates at any rate. So hopefully
It's
you
almost
agree
like a
with us.
double-edged sword because I hate to feature it because I don't really want to let the world know about this. But you also want to feature it because it's interesting and different. So
That's
stay
pretty
tuned. No, I'm gonna leave the cliff hanging there. Leave the
Yes.
cliff hanging.
But-
But to all those of you out there, especially Phlogiston, huge props to you for obviously a follower. Where are you hailing from this evening? We got a couple minute or so here before we get going. Just want to hear in chat where you all are hailing from and watching
Yeah,
from.
definitely give us a shout out in the chat. We'd love to hear where you're coming from, where you're watching from, what brought you here, and we'll continue to try and
Canada, eh?
interact with you guys while
Nice.
the
I
games
got,
are going on as we're able to.
I've got quite a
So,
bit
yeah.
of family in South Florida, so we go down there pretty regularly. It's definitely, from what I hear, it's still pretty warm down there right now. All the Floridians I know are like, come on, where's the break already?
It's still kind of been warm up here too, though.
Yeah, the last couple days, but we had that, I thought it was going to be the introduction to winter, but luckily it turned out to not quite be that yet. Yeah,
No,
it's hot.
it's bounced back a bit. Well, hopefully that you have figured out the sitting on an ice pack trick, Phlogiston. That
Yeah, you
worked
want to
out
tell
pretty
everybody
well
about
for me.
that?
Oh yeah, so we were casting in the middle of a heat wave, and in my little apartment, the airflow is not so hot. So usually I try and have a fan going or something, but then we also have the cicadas as well. So then you get that like chirping noise in the background. So I had the windows shut in like 95-degree heat, sweltering. There's no AC air that's coming in here, so my solution was I was just going to sit on an ice pack the whole night, and it worked. It kept me cool.
You've got some
So,
pretty big arteries in the bottom of your legs there, so as they flow over the icy pack, it keeps your body cool. I do
right.
that sometimes at night when I'm sleeping. If I'm hot, I put one under my neck, and I get kind of cold almost.
That'll do it. You have
6,
to mow the
5,
lawn every
4,
4 days.
3, 2, 1. No buzzer for you.
All right. So we are going into games again. This is a doubleheader tonight. You're watching the StarCraft 2